we had the COP28, it's all over now. If it wasn't so serious and alarming, what Chris Bowen wants Australia to do, it'd be laughable. How does he go over there and say what he said a couple of days ago and then read the draft communique and even get off his plane when he gets home? He should be so embarrassed.
Well, he's a dangerous ideologue, but he won't be embarrassed because that's not the sort of person that Chris Bowen is. That's the tragedy of all this, is that Labor's net zero by 2030 is going to send us broke. And while he was there, he had the opportunity to sign up to a nuclear pledge to reduce emissions. If we want to increase our supply, we should have nuclear as part of that mix. That just makes sense. And I'm prepared, and the Nationals have been the first ones on the bandwagon. We've been on this for nearly a decade, and I've got to say it took the courage of Peter Dutton and to bring the Liberal Party to us, because we didn't do anything for 9 years because the Liberals didn't have the courage to come there, but Peter Dutton got them there. And I'm prepared to have it out in the marketplace. Let's fight this out in the marketplace, Chris Bowen. Let's put nuclear out there and let the market decide. But his pathway of 82% renewables by 2030 is tearing up regional Australia, not just with the solar panels, the 22,000 solar panels a day that need to be laid, the 40 wind turbines a month that need to be put up, but the 28,000 kilometres of transmission lines that are needed to plug all this in, where nuclear power plants can go in where coal-fired power stations are, but we can also keep our coal-fired power stations going and our gas going. With things like carbon capture storage. The Biden administration's spending $1.2 billion on that. So let's get back to first principles. If you want to reduce emissions, we've got plenty of time to do it. Let's invest in technology that protects traditional industries. We're not like Europe. We have sovereignty of all our resources in this country. We don't have to worry about Vladimir Putin cutting the tap off. We've got all the gas, we've got all the coal, and we can continue to burn that and abate that. And we have nuclear as a new option, as well as I think we're now at saturation point with renewables. They've lost their social licence. They're actually destroying the very thing that they're there to protect, the actual environment. And I think it's time for us to pause, to plan, and to get this right with sensible energy policy.
Well, the word sensible is the correct word there. You and I have been around a long time, and you've been in Canberra a long time. Normally, you can sit down with even your opponents and say, listen, this policy is just not right for the nation. Is there no one within Labor that can rein Bowen in, or is Anthony Albanese using Chris Bowen to do what Anthony Albanese actually wants to do with this renewable energy?
Yeah, well, the first thing I did when I became Nationals leader was actually write to Anthony Albanese and ask for a national energy summit to actually plan a way forward for our energy system and to put all the technologies on the table, including nuclear, to make sure that it also could have the ruler run over it. I went to their Jobs and Skills Summit. I thought regional Australia should have a voice there. I mean, I gritted my teeth and held my nose and went there to try and be constructive. Anthony Albanese turned his nose up to me. This, unfortunately, is all ideology, an ideology of trying to get us to 82% renewables. And I think Chris Bowen has basically belled the cat that he wants us to go all renewables. And his first target's by 2030 at 82%. And you still need firming power. You still need to firm up renewables. And that's not David Littleproud saying that. That's AEMO saying that. But why would we put all our energy eggs in one basket? Why would we do that when we have sovereignty of all our resources? And unfortunately, Anthony Albanese hasn't got the courage to bring him in. The AWU, to their credit, are big fans of nuclear energy and believe that we should have that conversation. Even the South Australian Premier is on the record as saying it's a discussion that we need to have. And the Coalition, I can tell you, will have that discussion. We've got the courage of our conviction. We're prepared to be proved wrong, and we'll be proved wrong in the marketplace. Let's just take the moratorium away and let the market decide. I've already met a number of investors who would come here and build their own nuclear plant and be behind the grid. That's how bad Chris Bowen is going in the cost of energy for industry, but also just for households. Just understand your energy bill's going up because investment's confidence has gone in our gas and coal, and we're losing supply. And when supply goes, prices go up. And when you then have to put in a new system that needs to be plugged in with 28,000 kilometres of transmission lines, you're going to pay for that. close to $100 billion. And when half your bill's already poles and wires, you're going to pay a lot more under this mob, and you're going to do that before 2030. And that's one of the, if you look at what's driving, keeping inflation up at the moment, it's the fixed costs. It's your energy and your food bill. And they're intertwined because our food processors are paying 3-4 times what they were 2 years ago because of this mob.